let's note the difference in the chip stocks. It's one thing to be bullish on memory. It's another thing to be going after some of the higher tech chips and look at gaming and look at the cyclicality of the sector overall, which if you want to be cynical, you can say, hey, that's great for Goldman upgrading semis after they've moved 21% in the last 34 days, except for the fact that the one part that they've upgraded is the part that's really underperformed. So the argument here for Micron is that a reduction in supply coming out of the Toshiba outage is something that should be bought, and that you've actually worked through some of the oversupply just for this alone. Valuation is not a reason to buy these stocks. And as I talk to I think the broader base of that sector, I do actually think that semis are starting to price in almost perfection in not only a trade deal, but a recovery in cyclicality. And I think it looks a little bit ominous here. And you could make an argument we're right back up at that top where we failed a couple times.
It was a little more nuanced than just a general semis upgrade, right? And what I thought was kind of interesting is when you look at some of Goldman's other research where they're talking about maybe the market has topped out the market in general. If you really thought that you were going to have this semi-surge higher, you would say, the whole market's going to go higher. So maybe there's better places to go. I look at Micron close to $50. That's where it broke down before. I don't think you're discovering anything new. You're not Lewis and Clark here. So for me, I think you get a chance to buy a little bit lower.
Nice. We talked about this. Micron was definitely too cheap at 32.5. We had those conversations. Reported earnings. The earnings were not great, but we talked about how it made sense. Now, with that said, I thought it would absolutely fail at 39.5. As a matter of fact, a couple of actions ago, if you may recall, Coco Beware and I did a little bit of a
tag team.
Yeah, and I picked the stock. Don't get mad at Mike. It was me, but we had a bearish bet on Micron. Clearly, that's not working out. With that said, though, we've been pretty steadfast on other names. Xilinx reports, I believe, on Wednesday. That sets up pretty well under earnings. But the one that you should take a look at and maybe start taking some money off the table is Lam Research. Look where it traded up to in May. Look where it traded down to. Look where it is now. Look, the stock's had a tremendous run, but to take profits in Lam Research right now makes some sense to me.